Did you know that it's possible to schedule hundreds to thousands of social media posts every day? And you don't have to ever do that manually? But first, let's back up a little bit. It's common knowledge that daily social media posts are one of the best ways to drive audience engagement and create brand awareness for your business. But honestly, that's easier said than done. Crafting social media posts is already a painstaking process. Posting these to your social media channels yourselves is the other stressful part of the equation. So in this video, we're going to show you how to create social media content and schedule these posts to go out to our social media channels every day. And we're going to do all of this in n8n. Before we start, we're going to need a couple of things for our build. For this tutorial, we'll be using n8n, Airtable, Claude, PostPulse, and Flux. So we'll kick off our build by setting up the trigger for our workflow. We'll set up an Airtable node as our trigger. In our Airtable base, we've set up 4 fields: a post idea field, a prompt field, a created field, and a posted field that lets us know if our posts are scheduled or not. We'll head back over to our n8n build, and we're going to copy and paste our Airtable base URL and our base ID. You can find both of these in your browser URL. Once you've got those, we're going to set our trigger field to be our created field. So every time we create a new row in Airtable, we'll be triggering our workflow as well. We'll wrap off by testing our node and making sure everything is in order. We'll move on to our next step and set up a node to generate AI images for our post. We've already set up an HTTP node in an earlier workflow we built. So we're going to copy that node and paste it in this workflow. We're making an API call and using the Flux model to generate our images. And we'll be using the prompt field from Airtable as the prompt for our model. Now, while we're using Flux for our build, you're free to use any model of your choice to get the results you're looking for. We'll run our workflow and wait to see our result. That's the most adorable image I've seen all week. Look at it. It's just so adorable. We can stare at this all day. But I think we should move on to our next step. For our next step, we're going to add the Anthropic node to our workflow. And we're going to use the chat with model action in our Claude node. We'll be using the Claude Haiku model to create a short social media post using the post idea field from our Airtable base to give our model a topic for our output. Once we're done, we'll test our node and move on to our next step. Now for the next part of our build, we want our generated content and image to be scheduled in PostPulse. But before we do that, we need to upload our generated image first. So we're going to set up another HTTP node to download our generated image using its public URL. And then we're going to add the PostPulse node. And we're using the upload media action to upload our downloaded image to PostPulse. Now the reason why we're doing this is because this action is going to generate a path ID that we absolutely need for our next action. If we were to execute this step right now, we'll be able to view our path ID in our output. Right now we're adding a second PostPulse node. But this time we'll be using the schedule post action in our PostPulse node. We're going to find the scheduled date input field. To get our workflow to schedule a post every day, we're going to use this neat little trick. If you switch over from fixed to expression, you can add this JSON function that will schedule our post for right now and add an extra day in advance. So when we schedule our workflow to run every day, our PostPulse node is going to schedule our generated posts a day in advance every single time. Once you've done this, all that's left to do is to choose the social media channel we want to use, add our Claude output as our content, and add our path ID from our previous node as our attachment path. Let's execute this node and head over to our PostPulse dashboard to see our result. From our PostPulse dashboard, we can see that our post has been successfully scheduled, and our Claude output and Flux image have both been uploaded as our social media post. For our last step, we'll add another Airtable node, but this time we're going to be updating our Airtable record. Inside our Airtable node, the only thing we'll be changing is our posted field, and we'll be changing that to a yes. Let's execute our workflow and see if we're firing on all cylinders. But first, a recap of what's going on. We're triggering our workflow every time we create a new Airtable record. We're generating an AI image from the prompt field in our Airtable record. We're generating our social media content using Claude. We're downloading and uploading our AI image to PostPulse. We're scheduling a post in PostPulse for every single day. And we're updating our Airtable record to reflect that our post has been scheduled. And now for the moment of truth. Our execution has been successful. If we hopped over to our PostPulse dashboard, we'll see that our post has been scheduled and will be posted the next day. We'll even be able to edit our post from the dashboard if we'd like. And if we hopped over to our Airtable base and reloaded the base, we'll see that our record has been updated as well, letting us know that our post has been scheduled. Before we end the video, let's take a look at that baby otter again. Absolutely adorable. That's the end of our tutorial. Thanks for watching. And if you're interested in videos like these, give this one a like, a subscribe, and maybe even a follow. And let us know in the comments what you think. If you're interested in this workflow as a template, comment Baby Otter, and we'll send you this workflow as a template.